Should we talk DBs?
Sure, let's do it.
All these guys are free agents next year.
Yeah.
All of them. Is there anyone you would bring back? I mean, Mosley's restricted. Everyone else is unrestricted.
Yeah. I would bring back Mosley just because is Mosley unrestricted or is he ERFA?
He's restricted.
He's restricted, right?
Yeah. ERFA this year. He'll be RFA next year.
Perfect. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere. I think, Jimmy Ward's under contract, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's my boy, Jimmy Ward.
Yeah. I like Jimmy Ward. He's a nice guy, but dude.
Jaquaski Tart, he's unrestricted, right?
Unrestricted.
So, yeah, I don't see him returning. Where are they going to have the money? They don't have the money.
Yeah. They have to create cap space for Fred Warner. Yes.
Yeah. There you go. So I don't think everybody's just see ya.
Third round comp. Thank you very much. See you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay. So then you got Jason Verrett, Richard Sherman, Akello Witherspoon. Akello is done, right?
Oh yeah, he's the next Dante, like you said. I saw that tweet. I saw it. I was like, that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart.
Also, K1's unrestricted. And these guys are all going to be 30 next year. I mean, I think K1's 29 now, Verrett's 29 now, Sherman's 32. I'm 32. Sounds so old to say. But anyway.
Here's a thing that you want to know. You know, people talk about the Super Bowl window. I said it closed faster than anything else when Buckner was traded out. You lose K'Wan Williams, your slot cornerback, that just exponentially just proves my point. Sherman's already gone, so he's already jumped ship.
Yep.
Jason Verrett, I mean, he's having a hell of a year, but at the end of the day, it's like, how long can he sustain that with all the injuries he's had over the course of his career? So what are you really banking on?
Yep. Yeah, and K'Wan Williams is good, but he gets hurt a lot, and he's almost 30.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's still young, bro. I'm 37, bro.
It just seems to me like the Niners have to really kind of rebuild the whole secondary and don't have the draft picks to do it. I mean, maybe they can re-sign DJ Reed this offseason.
Ooh, from the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah. I mean, they had him. They didn't want to lose him.
He made a nice play against them, didn't he?
Yes.
Got back at them. All right.
Yes, he did. Put what's his face on his back?
Yeah.
Yes. So they don't have anything promising there. Emmanuel Mosley's a solid cornerback, but he's not great.
No, he's like a solid. You know what? Because I do game grades of all 32 NFL teams. Emmanuel Mosley's not as bad as people make him out to be because it was, in my opinion, it was Salah's fault. I love Salah, great guy, great person. You know, Salah's my boy, but you can't leave Emmanuel Mosley on an island against DK Metcalf and expect him to hold up in pass coverage when he has a non-existent pass rush to play with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like me. That's like anyone going up against. It's like it's a lost cause, bro. Like, what kind of game plan do you play a cover one against DK Metcalf?
You can't. But the problem is against the Seahawks is you can't play two deep safeties against the Seahawks because Russell Wilson will destroy you running.
That's true.
So if you don't have a corner who can match up with DK Metcalf,
you're screwed.
I don't know. And so to me, we're talking about personnel decisions here. This is what we need to talk about in the secondary. Yeah. Not Salah, but Lynch and Kyle. Okay. They knew that DK Metcalf was in this division. They saw him last year. They knew DeAndre Hopkins was coming in this division. He's been around. And they were like, nah, we're good in the secondary.
They thought Sherman was going to stay healthy. That's what they thought.
They thought Sherman was going to stay young. I mean, even last year, Sherman, as well as he played in zone coverage, was way too slow to play man against most wide receivers in the league. And so they didn't really play man.
No, and that's the thing. It's like I pointed it out. I said, watch, he's going to get burned in the playoffs. And people are like, oh, you're hating. No, because he's too slow. He gets beat on double moves. Yeah. You saw what happened when Sammy Watkins burned him. I mean, that was apparent all year long. If you watch the coaches film like we do, we saw it. It's not like if we point it out, the defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators are not going to know what's going on. Of course they know what's going on. They just held their breath and then game planned accordingly and took their shot when the opportunity arose.
Yeah. Look, the Niners have neglected the cornerback position for 20 years. Okay. In the last, I think 18 years, the only corners they've taken before round 4 are Chris Culliver and Akello Witherspoon. That's it.
Culliver's my boy too.
Yeah, and he's better than Witherspoon was.
Oh, yeah, by far.
What do you think of the Niners' organizational philosophy to constantly draft D-line over corners? And do you think that they've seen enough to finally switch it up? We've talked about this a lot, too, about what's more important, coverage or pass rush. They're both important. But if you don't have coverage,
Exactly. So, I mean, we go back and forth. I like building teams from the inside out. You like building teams from the outside in.
Yes.
So, for me, I think you build a pass rush organically, makes the secondary and linebacker second level players a lot better in terms of their play in pass coverage in their respective zones. However, from the defensive back standpoint, I think they need to do something. I mean, and then here's the thing, Grant. Like, you look at the free agents that are coming up. The only one that I see that seems to be a scheme fit is Logan Ryan.
They could have had him already.
Ugh. I know. I wanted them to. Fudge.
My favorite team right now in terms of roster building is Miami. I'm fascinated by them.
I like it.
I'm really interested because it's a New England offshoot. Brian Flores is a defensive guy.
Yes.
And the two highest paid players on that team, you know what position they play?
Yes, probably secondary. Because I know you love secondary players.
Corner.
Yeah. Xavier Howard
and Byron Jones.
Xavier Howard's a monster, bro.
They're both monsters. Both monsters.
Yeah.
And so now they can match up with any wide receivers in the league. They have two guys who can, and they can get real creative with all the blitzes they do. Everything they do, they can do well. And they do have good pass rushers. They got Agba and Lawson, who were former first-round picks, but they have premium talent at corner. And that is, to me, what you need. If you don't have it, then you're asking your D coordinator to be a genius, a freaking genius.
Nick Saban said it best. He said, no longer do defense win championships. It's the offense, because all the rules are dictated toward the offense, toward the quarterback, taking late slides, personal foul, tap him on the head, personal foul.
Exactly.
You can't hit a receiver coming across the middle, personal foul. It's become two-hand touch football. He didn't say that. I'm saying it. But this part of it is, it's true. It's like there's no rules dictated or helping the defense. And we saw it with Jimmy Ward with that late hit on Russell Wilson. That was really BS, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to kind of adapt. If you don't adapt, you die. Mm-hmm. And to your point, I think I'm going to have to almost roll with you in terms of like pass coverage is, here's the meter going towards Grant. And pass coverage is becoming more and more important as each year passes.
I think so, because you see these quarterbacks who can buy time. They're they're quicker than these defensive linemen. You go against a guy like Kyler Murray and he just makes all your pass rushers miss. You need guys who can lock up DeAndre Hopkins down the field.
Yes.
You can't beat him. You just can't.
It's game over, bro. It's game over. And that's why it's so important to set the edges and contain the edges. Because if you're going to rush the passer and get up vertical, you better be sure that you seal and contain him and flush him in as well, so he stays inside that pocket. You don't let him get outside. Don't give up outside containment, which I don't want to say someone that we know or that we talk about does it all the time, but it's something that needs to be fixed up and coached up. And if it's not coached up, or if it is coached up and they're still not doing it, then it falls on the secondary players and the second level backers to get it done, and then they're out to dry.
Final point. To me, it's way harder to find good cornerbacks than good quarterbacks. All you gotta do is look at the free agent list for each position next year. Next year, you got Dak Prescott, Ryan Fitzpatrick, a bunch of guys who've had success at that spot.
Yeah,
you need corner? Nobody.
Logan Ryan.
Nobody.
Logan Ryan.
Why I feel like if you have a shot to get a 6'1", 200-pound guy who runs a 4.4, if you can get that guy with a top 40 pick in the NFL draft, you gotta take him. You have to. You can't be like, nah. We'll just get someone in round 5. No. Maybe if you play zone every freaking snap, but if you ever want to play man, you gotta match up.
Yeah, and at some point you got to do that, especially when the games are tough in the deep playoff run. What happens? It's all about mano a mano coverage.
Exactly, man. And I don't know. It's just they're going to go D-line again next year. They're going to go D-line again. It'll take D-end.
It's going to be interesting, Grant, because how many years in a row have they done this? Or
11.